Right.
So I think we should start, inshallah.
All right, inshallah. So for those who are here, we have treated previously greetings and general communication on daily basis. But today I decided to pick a topic that will help, that I believe can help us to start understanding from our home front. So why I decided this is because I have noticed that there are some people that lack in confidence, not because they cannot speak English, but because they feel a little bit shy or they feel not confident to talk to people or to talk to others. To start this, I'll tell you a story. When I was in high school, we had a group of 6 of us friends. We were always together once inside the school compound. And we were 6, but one of us was a girl because it was a mixed school. So only one girl was part of us. And this girl was my neighbor, but everyone in the school thought she was my sister. And this group, we taught ourselves English. And when I say we taught ourselves English, it's because of the way we operated amongst ourselves. We challenged ourselves to speak good English. So each of us will go and study. And each time anyone wants to talk, you have to make sure you speak correct English. If you make mistake, we will pick on you, and then we will draw your attention to the mistake, and we will discuss why it is a mistake and why we need the correction and what the correct English is. With that, whenever any of us wants to talk, yes, welcome Rashid. Rashid, you are a little bit late today, but Alhamdulillah, we just started and we are telling a story. Each time anybody wants to talk, you are forced to do a little construction internally before you speak out, because you don't want to make mistake. So that helped us to improve on our studies of English. And getting those corrections from each other made us to develop more confidence when we talk in front of other people, because we were sure of what we were going to speak out. So talking about developing English, what I want us to learn today is, how do you build yourself in English? First, you don't get the English words from nowhere. You have to get the words from somewhere. Where is this somewhere? I will say, first step is reading. Second, listening. Third, speaking. You have to listen when other people speak and pick the words that you don't know. If you can remember that word and then you ask the meaning of that word, then you will never forget the word. And if you read and you come across a word that you do not know, you will want to look at the dictionary. You would want to check the meaning maybe on Google Dictionary, because Google has made it much easier now to check words instead of opening the dictionary, a heavy book, a big book. You may want to ask somebody around you who can help you with the meaning of the word. To me, that is faster, because if there is somebody you can ask, that person will tell you the meaning and then give you a sentence about it, so that when you need to use the word another time in your own sentence, you don't need to ask anybody again. So how do we do this? How do we approach this study? Is by selecting topics that you want to learn about. Then you get familiar with the words that are associated with such topics. So today, the topic I choose for us to discuss, because we have little time and I am a little bit under pressure, I need to go back to my work, and I want us to do something reasonable within the 1 hour that we have. So what I have chosen is house care. And house care, we have house care in two ways, right? House care can be inside the house or outside the house. But today, let's start from outside the house. So, and when I say outside the house, what I want us to do is, how do you take care of your house from outside? Then we are going to look at the activities that you do in the process of cleaning the outside of your house, or taking care of outside of your house. So now, what are the things we have to look at? Outside your house, you have grasses normally. That is the first thing you think of, right? So grasses are two types. Some part of the grass are weeds, and then some of the grass are beautification. So that is what we are talking about. So, and then you will have some rocks or some sand dune, or whichever one. It can be sand, it can be moles, it can be hives. Today nobody is talking. I don't know why. So if we are talking of grass, I said we have two types of grasses. Some are weeds and some are meant to beautify. So which ones do we call weeds? W-E-E-D-S. Weeds. That is the grass outside your house that you don't need. They are called weeds. Like on the farm, when you plant like peas, or you plant the corn, or anything you plant, by the time your farm is growing, the part of the things that grow along that are not what you planted and you have to remove them after some time, these are called weeds. So how and that one you remove them permanently. And the part of grass that is for beauty, you don't remove that one at all, but you repair it. How do you repair it? You cut it to level. Sometimes, if you are in the village, sometimes we use the cutlass and different equipment. But in some other people have the machine to cut the grass to level so that it looks good. So now, what do you call the cutting of grass with machine to put it to level? We call that mowing, and we call the machine mower. So you can use the mower, which is the machine, to cut the grass and even the weeds to level. So we are talking about grass now. And then other thing we have outside our house is flowers. So how do we get flowers? We plant them. And for you to plant the flower, you need some other things, right? What are the things? You need flower pots. So not cooking pot. So you see the difference now. We have cooking pot for cooking. When we go inside the house, we will talk about cooking pot. But now we have flower pots, since we are talking of house care from outside. So what else do we find outside of our house after grass and weeds and flowers? Because grass, we mow the grass to level. Weeds, we get rid of the weeds. How many ways do we have to take care of the weeds? We remove them, or we spray chemicals to kill them. So there are many ways to take care of the weeds. And then when you have a mole, how do you deal with it? What is a mole? A mole is a kind of growth of sand or dune that happens maybe by insects digging it out to form a mole in front of the house or outside the house, and then you have to remove it. And how do you remove it? Sometimes if it becomes strong, you have to break it and then to remove the debris. What is debris? These are how we find the words. If you have a mole or a block or anything that is not needed, once you break it into pieces, the pieces are called debris. If part of the wall falls down and breaks into pieces, what we have there is debris. So we have to remove the debris and take away from the place so that the environment will look beautiful again. So outside your house, you can have trees. Trees, these are plants. Some trees are planted, like orange tree, guava tree, cashew tree. These ones are planted. What do you call plant? You have to do the job of a farmer to put it into the ground so that it grows up. So you are planting that one. And then some other trees are natural. These ones, you don't need to plant them. They grow naturally. And these are the type of trees sometimes that grow very big that we have to cut them into timber. So these trees, they have some things that live on them. You have birds in the trees. Sometimes you have some other living things in the tree. And then you can even have bees. You know the bees? The bees, those small tiny insects that create the honey. When they come to settle on a tree outside your house, they can settle on the part of your building outside your house. So you have to be a very nice person to allow bee hives. You know what they call hive? You have a house. We have houses as human beings. The house that bees live is called beehive. Beehives, that is Hives. Beehives, that is the house of the tiny insects that make honey. So once in a while, somebody might ask you some questions, or somebody can advise you. Maybe you live in an environment where the soil is very good and the grass outside your house will grow quickly. So somebody can advise you, you should mow your grass once a week. You remember we use the word mow, M-O-W. Mow means cutting the grass to level, mostly by machine that you push, and then you start the machine with petrol, and then you run it around. You just walk the machine around the compound over the grass, and it cuts it to level. So somebody can tell you, you should mow your grass once a week. So, and he can tell you, I just mow mine once it gets really long. So he does not, the other person does not have a set time, but once the grass grows, he will mow it. So now we have had how many words? We have had weeds, then we have had flowers, and we have had moles, we have had hives, and then we have now mow. Mow is to grass, and hives is to bees, right? Mole is to rock. Okay. Somebody may ask you, how often should I mow the grass? How often? So when you hear somebody say how often, it's actually written often, but the T is silenced. So if someone asks you how often, so it's telling you, it's asking how regularly, how many times a day, how many times a week, how many times a month. So if you say how often, so you can say, I do that once a week, or once a month, or once a year, whichever is applicable. Somebody can ask you, when should I plant flowers? So it depends on the season. How many seasons do we have in India? Can anyone tell me? Because everybody is quiet. How many seasons do we have in India? We have rainy season, right? What some people call monsoon. I hope I'm not talking to only myself. Because nobody is talking, nobody is responding. Do you have rain in India? What time of the year do you have rain? Is everybody there? Come on, brothers. We have 6 participants in the class, and nobody is saying anything to me. I'm feeling lonely. Can
Sir,
somebody
rainy
talk?
season, winter season, summer season, sir.
Sorry?
Sir, can you hear me, sir?
I said, what time of the year do you have rain?
Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear everyone. Why? Because I've been feeling lonely because nobody is talking.
Sir, 3 seasons, sir. Rainy, summer and winter, sir.
Okay, summer and winter. So when is your winter?
Yes, sir.
What time of the year is winter? And what time does the
December to
rain?
March, sir.
What time does the rain fall? Is it the winter or the summer?
Yes, sir.
What time does the rain fall? Is it during the winter or
Rain
during the
is July to November, sir.
Okay, July to November. Okay, so if somebody asks you what what how what when is the best time to plant flowers? So you have to say during the rainy season, and rain falls between
Yes, sir.
July and November. So you get the English right. So you have to give the sentence. You can plant flower. The best time to plant flowers is during the rainy season. Rainy season is from July to November in India. Don't forget to tell the person the location, because here in Arabia, rain will fall between December and February only. Sometimes it goes to March. So, and when you have the natural rain, that is the best time to plant flowers. This is story I'm telling you so that you pick how the sentence is made, because we want to speak with good English. So, as I was saying, don't forget I started telling you a story about a group of us, how we taught ourselves English. There was one of us who makes a lot of mistakes. Or now I will say he used to make a lot of mistakes, because we are no longer in that stage. We have already grown past that stage now. So one of us used to make a lot of mistakes. But that never stopped him from talking. Each time he speaks, he makes the mistake, and then we give him the correction and we talk about it. Sometimes we laugh at his mistake and then we make the correction, but he never stopped. And because he never stopped, he was improving on daily basis until it got to a time that from making mistake in every sentence, the mistake start reducing until after some time, he may speak 10, 15, 20 times before we find one mistake. So over time, he started changing. So what does that mean? It means if you help each other to develop, everybody one day will become good. So as we are having the classes, some people are asking the questions in the group. Anyone that has an answer can give the answer. We are only moderators, we can check when the answer is correct. I will say correct, or other group members will say correct. And if there is any adjustment, we will contribute, and then we help each other like that. So if Hayat answers Muhammad's question today, and then tomorrow another person asks a question, and then Sayyid answers the question. So sometimes you may not even want to put the question there. If you know that, okay, teacher is in Qatar, you cannot call Qatar because it's international call. So if you check Hayat, Hayat is in India. So you can call him local call to ask some question, and inshallah, he will be ready to help you get your answer. If Hayat is not sure, he can also send the message to the WhatsApp group, and I will respond to him, and he will get back to you. So that is what helping each other means. And that is the lesson that Lights of Kindness wants to put across to all of us. So now, if I ask you, what are the things in your neighborhood? You know what neighborhood means? Neighborhood is the area around where you live, covering a distance of maybe up to 50, 100 meters, where you can see everybody and say, this is my neighbor. He lives in the area where I live. The area where you live, anywhere in the area where you live, it is called a neighborhood. Neighborhood is like a community where everybody interacts. So I want you to tell me a few people. I want at least 2 to 3 people to tell me what are the things in your neighborhood that you like. What do you like about the area you live? I'm talking of environment. Do you have trees? Do you have flowers? Do you have quiet environment? Do you have good roads? Do you have some dogs, or you have some? So tell me, I want two people, at least two people, to tell me what you like about the area where you live. So do I need to start calling names? I will check the names I have. Although we don't have many people today, and I have Daulat and Hayat. So at least tell me what you like about where you live. Is there anything in the area you live that you like or not?
Yes, sir.
So tell me something about the area you live.
Yes, sir.
And I want you to tell me like this. Okay, I live in this, in so and so area of so and so state in India. In my environment, I like this, I like that, I don't like this, I don't like that. That's how I want to hear from you. So go ahead, Hayat. Or you want me to give you an example first?
Hayat Basha.
Hayat, you're not there?
Hayat?
Hayat is not there. Okay, there is a chat there. Let me check. Maybe.
Sir, I'm listening, sir. I am outside, sir, so I can't speak.
பேசுப்பா
Okay.
ஹயாத் பாஷா
Okay.
அவுட் சைடா இருந்தா என்ன பேசு
Okay.
பேசினா வரும் கம்யூனிகேஷன் ஸ்கில்
Okay. 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 Let's continue then, because you can only listen for now.
Yes, sir.
Maybe it's because we started early today, and it's because of the assignment I have that I decided to start early today.
Sir, that's not
Right.
a problem, sir.
All right. Then where is Daulat?
Yes, sir, I'm here. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah,
Am I
I can hear
audible?
you. Yes, you are.
Yes, sir.
Are you also outside?
No, sir. I'm available. I'm free, sir.
So tell me something about your environment.
My neighborhood, I'm from Trichy, Tamil Nadu, India.
I don't want you to say I am from. I live in this area, in so and so area. I'm talking about your neighborhood now. I live. That's how I expect you to start.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay,
Yes, I live in Trichy,
good,
one of the cities of Tamil Nadu,
great,
a state in India.
good, wonderful.
My neighborhood is completely filled with apartments, sir.
Great.
So nothing much to look out for.
Yeah, it's not about looking out. What do you enjoy when you are in your neighborhood, despite the apartments? Don't you have any playgrounds for children
Yes,
in the area? So now,
when I was young, there was a small playground near my house, but even in that place, they have built an apartment. So I would like to share the experience how it was when I was young.
so that's what you see, in English, spoken English, this is a good example for you to give. Okay, I will give you an example, right, from what you just told me, right?
Yes, sir.
I take my sentence now. I'm speaking on your behalf now. I grew up in Kriti, a city in Tamil Nadu state of India. I live in a neighborhood full of apartment buildings. While I was younger, there was a playground where we used to go and play. Remember, I said we used to. That was then, not anymore. But that playground has now been built up. I no longer have a place for younger ones to play. So by that time, after then, you can start saying that the government may not know about this building, or some people in the government did not do their work well, because such an area should never be built up. You see, have I created a story?
Yes, sir. I can understand.
So this is how we develop spoken English. You have to challenge yourself. Okay, if I want to tell this story, how will I tell it? Okay, I have to start from here, I have to pass through here, and I have to get here. So this is how you set it up. In most cases, you have to pick the subheadings that you have to talk. Okay, my neighborhood. And then you say city, That is the first thing that you want to talk about. Okay, the city is screechy, the so and so from state. And then what is the particular interest that you want to talk about? Playground. So you write that one down. Then when you want to talk about the playground, then you will tell the people, okay, when was that playground existing? So is it still there or it is no longer there? So if it is still there, how is the situation now compared to when you were growing up? If it is no longer there, why is it no longer there? So from the why it is no longer there, then you can talk about the government change, or the people change, or maybe some natural challenges, maybe some rubbish have started being dumped there. People have started dumping rubbish on the ground because the trash disposal is no longer effective. So things like that, you have to create the story and write it by yourself. And that is why it is good to read from other books. When you read, then you see how the sentences are arranged. You will see how people write, how people tell stories, and then you will try to develop your own on your own.
Okay, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So with time, maybe we will start telling such stories in the class, no matter how short, so that we can develop ourselves. Because I want us to be discussing like this. So now I see that the late meeting is better than the early one now, because I can see that Hayat is on the road or outside, and he cannot communicate with us because there is so much noise, and he may not be able to communicate with us. That notwithstanding, this is only for today, and hopefully by next week we will push it back to the 9:45. Is that in India? 9:45, right?
Yes, sir. 9:45.
So that one, I think there are more people attending that one. This one seems to be early, and I can see that we are very few in this class. So there is a disadvantage in this one. I should have uh, made it tomorrow so that we can have more people, since we'll go late in the night. So still on the house care outside. So,
Sir, I have a question, sir.
okay,
Can
please.
I ask? So in the beginning of your speech, you said about few people lack in self-confidence or confidence. You used the word in. Normally, we would say that we lack self-confidence. We do not use the word in. Is it the correct way?
In what?
Lack in confidence or lack confidence. Which one is correct, sir?
You say somebody is lacking in confidence,
Yes.
or he lacks confidence. When you want to use in, you have to say he is lacking in confidence.
Okay, sir.
He is lacking in confidence, or he lacks confidence. When you say he is lacking in confidence, you are talking about generality. But when you are saying he lacks confidence, you are talking about now. Maybe you tell him now to speak in front of people and he is not confident to speak, then you will say he lacks confidence.
Yes, sir.
You get
I
the
get.
idea?
Yes, sir.
So when you are talking about the generality of his performance, maybe you want to tell somebody say, why is this your friend not always talking? In that case, you can use the term, he is lacking in confidence. So that means he has low confidence, self-confidence. So his confidence is low. That means he is lacking. When you say lacking, that means it's not available. That is what the word lack means in English, not lack as in lack in Indian money. This lack is L-A-C-K. Yes, you want to ask another question. That's great. I'm listening. You are mute. You have to unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. Sir, I also have another question.
Okay.
Where to use about and of?
About and off.
Yes, sir. The difference between where it should be used.
Okay. About and off.
Yes, sir.
But there are two different words that are used differently. Yes, I think I remember seeing this question you posted on the group, but I could not respond. Okay, when you are saying about, if you remember,